Right, Sunday morning, time to attack those odd jobs around the house. If something needs fixing, Peter Horne's your man. He's the right do-it-yourselfer. His bowling buddies just call him Hooks. Peter Horne is a hot shot on the bowling green and a demon home handyman. At work, he keeps the trains on the track, and at home, he's always on the ball.
Who's ready? Amy. A lot of people come up to me and say, can I help you with this? And I say, no, it's fine, I'll do it myself. And this is my can-do attitude, I suppose. There's always another way of doing something. It might not be the way that you guys do it, but there's a way that I can do it.
Pete was born without feet and hands.
Nobody knows the real reason why I was born the way I was. We just call it an act of God.
As a kid, no exceptions were made for his disability. And Pete reckons because of that, he's led a full and interesting life.
We lived in a hard town. I lived in Pairua East, and my father was the policeman. The jail was in the backyard, and it was a tough life. And before you went to school in the morning, you'd go out and feed the prisoners, and Dad would say if anyone gave you any cheek, you just tip the plate up. And he was a tough man, and that's the way life was.
At school, Pete found his direction in life.
But I loved engineering and I loved woodwork and all the practical things, which was probably stupid for a guy with no hands and no feet. But I loved those sorts of things. I used to be quite popular when we used to do metal work because I could get all the stuff out of the furnace without having to use the tongs.
These days, he's flat out on home handyman projects.
I built my own deck out here, which is quite spectacular, and all the furniture I have on my deck out there I've designed.
Pete's partner, Kieran, says the man never stops.
He goes at everything and gives it his utmost. Like at times I'll say we'll be, everything around this place here at the moment is things that we have done together. We've created bits of gardens, I've had him digging holes, and every time I used to come home I'd say, Pete, he'd go, not another bloody rose. And I'd say, no, I'll do it. No, just give me 5 minutes, I'll go get my garden leg on.
Pete has several prostheses.
I basically plan my day the night before, so from what I'm going to do tomorrow, what legs I'm going to put on, what clothes I've got to put on, because things just take a little bit more time.
As he readies himself for a game of bowls, Pete happily talks about his daily routine.
I have two of everything, mainly if things break down, or one for good, or I keep some of the older ones that have been superseded. Well, basically this one here is what they call an opposition plate. It just straps to my wrist, and I can put a cricket ball in there, or a cricket bat, or a tennis racket, or whatever I want. It's not pretty, but it's very useful. The hook, on the other hand, is a different story. So I have a harness that goes around my shoulders. I open by pushing against the hook, and the hook opens, and it's controlled by the bands to close it, so I can get as much pressure on there as I want. I could put a cigarette ash up and walk across the room with it. That's how delicate it can be. I believe I can do a lot more with this old-fashioned style than they can with the modern style. Maybe one day we'll have a competition at the Limb Centre to see who's got the best arm.
Sport's been central to Peter's life since he was little. But it's the bowling green where Pete really hits his mark.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Late again, Pete.
Late again. Well, thanks for
He won gold at the Paralympics in Korea, and he scored a raft of medals at both World Championships and Commonwealth Games. His bowls career started when he was a kid. His dad threw out a challenge. He could come to the bowling club if he could hit the apple tree in the garden.
Found that I could actually balance the bowl on my little hand here, and I let one rip and hit the apple tree, and he said, right, well, let's go and sign you up and we'll see how you get on. A lot of people say I have an advantage because people actually hold the bowl, and it's their fingers that get the bowl away with a wobble. And I actually balance the bowl, I get it perfectly balanced, and my delivery is damn near perfect, and I don't get the bowl away with any wobble at all. So that's what they tell me. That's their excuse why I beat them sometimes.
His artificial legs actually make bowling awkward.
It is hard in the fact that I have to concentrate a lot more. I've got to make sure that the legs step out in synchronisation to each other. Otherwise, if I step short, I can almost like throw myself over. I've never done it. I've never fallen over on the bowling green. Put a tape on these two here.
Yep. Yeah.
These days, he works as a signalman at the local railway station. It's a split shift, giving him time for sport and DIY projects.
2649, just be aware we have some people walking down the rail corridor, so caution please.
Happy with his lot, Pete can sum up his philosophy of life quite simply.
You've got to push yourself to the limit. It's no use being wrapped up in cotton wool all your life. You just got to push as far as you can and enjoy it.